Today, we're talking about maybe the most epic wingman in all of history. I'm talking about the legend of Benkei, a warrior monk whose final moments, well, they're the kind of thing you have to hear to believe. So let me ask you something. Can a man actually die standing up? I mean, it sounds like something straight out of a movie or a comic book, right? Can your will really be so powerful that it just overrides death itself? Well, the story of Benkei says, yeah, it's possible. Just try to picture this for a second. A lone warrior, standing guard on a bridge, absolutely riddled with arrows. He's completely still. But the army facing him, they're terrified. They're too scared to even get close to his body. That's the final incredible image of Benkei's life. But to get how he ended up there, we gotta go all the way back to the beginning. All right, so let's meet the guy at the center of all this. Before he was a legend, he was just Benkei. Benkei was a Sohei, which is a warrior monk. Think of a super tough fighter, but one who operated outside the normal samurai system. And man, was he driven. He had this very specific, kind of wild personal mission. And he wasn't just collecting cool souvenirs, you know? Benkei made this vow to collect 1,000 swords, but only from samurai he thought were unworthy. You know, guys who didn't live up to the code. It was his own personal crusade for honor, taking down all the arrogant fakes. And yeah, Benkei was basically built for this job. The guy was 6'6". In that era, he was an absolute giant. And his whole thing was just chilling on the bridges in Kyoto, daring any samurai to cross, and then taking their swords. Can you even imagine being that close? He's got 999 swords. He's literally one away from finishing his life's mission. Just one more sword to go. And of course, the guy he picks for that final duel, well, he's about to change everything. And that brings us to the fight that would define Benkei's entire life. It's this epic showdown, but with a twist that, I promise, you won't see coming. Okay, so just look at this matchup. On one side, you've got Benkei, our 6'6" giant warrior, and on the other, his 1,000th target. It's this small, kind of delicate-looking samurai named Yoshitsune who was literally just playing a flute on a bridge. I mean, this should be a cakewalk, right? Yeah, no, completely wrong. In what has to be one of the biggest upsets in history, the tiny Yoshitsune didn't just win, he completely dominated him. He just danced around the giant Benkei, beating him without even breaking a sweat. It wasn't really a fight. It was more like a masterclass in humility. You know, a defeat like that can either break you or it can totally remake you. For Benkei, getting beaten wasn't just a loss. It was an epiphany. He saw in Yoshitsune's skill the exact kind of honor he'd been looking for all along. So right there, on that bridge, the sword collector gave up his quest and pledged his life to the man who beat him. He became his protector. And this is where the story gets really interesting, because it basically creates a whole new character type. If this sounds familiar, it's because Benkei is the OG ultimate sidekick that we see everywhere now, right? Think about anime, big movies, that impossibly strong, super loyal follower who makes the hero even more legendary. Benkei wasn't just a bodyguard. He was proof that his master was the real deal. Okay, so fast forward a few years. That loyalty we were just talking about, it's about to be put to the ultimate test. Yoshitsune gets betrayed, and he's cornered with just a handful of followers, Benkei included. And they're not just cornered, they're facing an entire army. There's literally no way out. So, with their backs against the wall, Yoshitsune decides to perform seppuku. That's the ritual suicide to die with honor instead of being captured. The thing is, that ritual takes time. It takes focus. So Benkei gets one last mission. Go out there, hold the bridge leading to their hideout, and buy your master enough time to die an honorable death. And he has to do it all by himself. And the odds, I mean, they're not just bad, they're impossible. You've got 500 enemy soldiers charging right at them. And they are all being funneled onto this one single bridge. And there's just one man standing in their way. But Benkei, he doesn't just hold them back. He becomes a whirlwind of destruction, cutting down an incredible 300 of them all by himself. But even a legend, even a giant, can't fight forever. The enemy soldiers, realizing they just can't get past him, they change tactics. They back off and just start loosing volley after volley of arrows. Benkei gets hit again and again and again, but he doesn't fall. He just stops. This is it. This is how a man dies standing. In this part, this is what makes the legend unforgettable. Even after the arrows stopped and he stood there motionless, his presence was still so terrifying, his fighting spirit so immense, that the enemy soldiers were too afraid to go near him to check if he was actually dead. They just watched his corpse, standing there like a statue, an unbreakable wall right to the very end. So, what is it that makes a story like this last for centuries? Is it the crazy action, the one man against an army stuff, or is it something deeper? Is it about the absolute, unbreakable loyalty that drove him? The kind of loyalty that's the real core of the warrior's code? Maybe the legend of Benkei is trying to tell us that the most powerful weapon isn't a sword or a spear. It's a bond between two people that's so strong it can literally stand up to death.